Just how important he was to this ball club last year in that first half. I thought he was the MVP going into the All-Star break. Guy who stepped in after them losing some starting pitching, and he took the ball every 5 days and gave them a chance to win.
He was named the Rangers Pitcher of the Year for his work last year.
One way to quantify it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you're talking about a staff last year with DeGrom and Eovaldi. Of course, the trades made at the end of the year. Scherzer, as this pitch fouled off, 1-1 on O'Neill Cruz. But it was Dunning, I think, as you point out, who really patched all the important needs that the Rangers had last year. He was just vital. So 1-1. Bender, and it gets that outside edge for a strike on O'Neill Cruz. 1-2. So the righty trying to make it a 1-2-3 first inning, and he does. Right on the inside corner, strike 3 to Cruz, and Dunning razor sharp in the first inning. So now the Bats get their chance. Semien, Seager, and Smith all coming up. coming to bat, 57 and 68 on the year in the Raleigh House Rangers lineup. Semien, Seager, Smith up top. Smith DHing today. Garcia and right, Lowe at first, Young at third base. Langford with a start in left field. Heim catches, and Taveras in center field will bat ninth. Luis Ortiz, his first pitch, and a fastball. Perfect. Top of the first inning for Dane Dunning. And Semien started after that and apparently went around 1-1. 7-game hitting streak going for the Rangers leadoff man. Watches Lowe.
This looks like he's starting to get in a nice little rhythm. He's got 17 straight games that he has reached base. Something that you love to see your leadoff hitter do. This looks like he's starting to get in a nice little rhythm. He's got 17 straight games that he has reached base. Something that you love to see your leadoff hitter do.
There's a 2-1. And he fouls it away. Well, he's had another really good year. Really productive in terms of driving in runs again. 100 out of the leadoff spot. 2-2 pitch, and he strikes out swinging. 1 away.
And we'll take a look at the accurate pitch arsenal for Luis Ortiz. He's got a slider that he'll throw 29% of the time, a 4-seam fastball, a sinker, and a cutter. Not a real power guy, more of a finesse pitcher. He's making his tees with a 5-3 record and an ERA of 3.41.
Against Corey Seager now. Seager with 26 home runs to go with his .271 batting average. Fouls that back. 1-1. Still sitting on the 7 home runs for the month. They got off to just a torrid start. Those 7 home runs still lead the American League in August. But in the National League, Jake Berger of the Marlins has hit 9 home runs in August, so he leads Major League Baseball. Balls up. Ortiz to the plate, and it's 3-1. Well, he's a kind of a young, intriguing arm for the Pirates. 25 years old, and he's been a bit of a swing man this year. 3-1 pitch. Yeah, there's a strike. I mean, he and Dane Dunning, I guess, similar in that way. Guys that respective teams use in the rotation for stretches, but also very comfortable using. In fact, a need to use them sometimes in long relief out of the pen. 3-2 pitch, and that ball's blasted. Where will it end up? It is gone! Wow! That was way the heck up there. Number 27 for Corey Seager.
Corey sitting on a fastball, 3-2 count. And he just covers his ball from Luis Ortiz for his 8th home run here in the month of August. Little cutter. This ball is gone. Oh my.
Almost hit that ribbon board up there in the facing of the upper deck, and now Smith just gets out of the way of ball 1. Yeah, almost hit that video board there.
All right, I'm waiting for StatCast now. See just how far that one traveled.
I can give you the number. I'm curious if you want to guess.
I'm going to go 448. 448.
That is awfully close. 449.
Oh.
Foul. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's tight. We're going to have to get you out here early tomorrow.
Well, you know what? being that it was 449, that's the second longest home run he's hit this year. But you could hear the crack of it. The sound of it was just beautiful. But I bet to Corey, he probably didn't even feel like it touched the bat.
Yeah. There's a strike, 3-1.
Kind of, for the golfers out there, it's like hitting a four iron just right in the face, and it just feels effortless.
3-1, and that one lined to first. Rowdy Tellez able to get up and make the catch, 2 away. That's a 4-iron. Ford leaderboard as Adolis Garcia is coming to the plate. Since Austin baseball, and on top of it, a lot of extra bases in there as well. 28 total bases during this hot run for El Bombi. And he'll take right on the corner, strike 1.
Well, we highlighted him in the opening. And he's starting to look more and more like the Adolis Garcia of 2023.
And he'll take right on the corner, strike 1.
Well, we highlighted him in the opening. And he's starting to look more and more like the Adolis Garcia of 2023. Hitting for power, driving the ball for extra bases, driving in runs. It's been a bat that this club has really missed the first few months of the season.
Yeah, he got up to the real hot start there, coming out of spring training. First month of the season was the American League Player of the Month. I mean, he was scorching hot, but man, did it take a turn after that. The 0-2, and that's fouled back. Garcia, he was coming off that phenomenal postseason run, and it just thought there initially, man, how great could it get with Adolis? But it got tough. The 0-2 off the plate. It's the amazing thing about this game, though, right? It's always teaching you and always challenging guys, no matter how good they are. See it, take strike 3 called. He knew it, and he'll head back to the dugout. But the Rangers get that first run of the night. Surprise, surprise. Corey Seager is 27th of the year, and it was a blast. So here we go, second inning, and Joey Bart takes strike 1. It's Bart, Tellez, and Grandal this inning. Boy, Dunning looks so good there in the first. Just 11 pitches needed. And his sliders fouled away. 0-2 on Bart.
It's amazing how good pitchers look when they throw strikes, isn't it? That's kind of the secret.
The whole thing, right? The whole thing. And not that they're not trying, right? But
yeah, some nights it just seems a little easier for guys than it does on other evenings.
1-2 the count on Bart. Dane in a nice little rhythm here early. This one off the handle, slowly hit to second. Semien has to hustle it, but he does. And Bart is turned back, one away. Bring up Rowdy Tellez. 247 hitter.
Yeah, but don't let that fool you. He's got a National League best of 998 fielding, 9 home runs and 34 RBIs.
Been around a little bit. Looks this one into center field. And an easy play out there. Flat layout. He's 2 gone here in the second inning. And Yasmani Grandal comes to the plate. You know, you think of, veteran catchers would be Salvador Perez with the Kansas City Royals. And Grandal, who, by the way, definitely looks in better shape. I mean, he's lost some significant weight. But I think quietly, he might be a guy who comes up. He's got 170 career home runs.
Where does that leave him on the active catchers list? Sal probably being number one.
Sal's won at 213 and Grandal is second.
At 170?
Yep. Strike 3-1. So we'll see how Dunning responds here after. Always awkward moment of flipping aside the bat as if he had ball 4.
This ball looks like it just catches a piece of that outside corner. Now in the old days, not too far distant, had you done that to an umpire, you better be swinging at that next pitch. Because many umpires would take that as a slight.
Grandal does take the walk. And he's the first Pirate to reach base tonight. And before McKinney comes to the plate, let's slide over for Baylor's Scott and White Health.
This ball looks like it just catches a piece of that outside corner. Now in the old days, not too far distant, had you done that to an umpire, you better be swinging at that next pitch. Because many umpires would take that as a slight.
Grandal does take the walk. And he's the first Pirate to reach base tonight. And before McKinney comes to the plate, let's slide over for Baylor's Scott and White Health. Pulled up today, and he takes strike 1. Let's see what he was doing with AAA Indianapolis with that 295 average. Brian Hayes was placed on the injured list today, their everyday third baseman for McKinney. Was last in the big leagues back in August of last season. Here's the 0-2, and he takes down in the dirt. McKinney, a local guy. Interestingly, Val, not from McKinney. Which you would think, I mean, it's pretty obvious. He's be eating free every night, the 1-2. That's inside. This is my town. Oh, but no, a couple of blocks over. He's in Plano. Went to Plano West. Former first-round pick by the Oakland A's back in 2013. Maybe just a contrarian. One of those guys on McKinney. So Dunning running into a little trouble here with 2 outs. Walk Rondal. And burning some pitches here to McKinney. On it goes, 3-2 pitch. Bouncer, and that one is through into right field. And so McKinney has the Pirates' first hit of the night. And Rondal gets over to third.
Well, Dane continues to throw those strikes. This one's down and in, and McKinney just pounds it right through that big wide hole on the right side. Rondal moves over from first to third.
So, just like that, you go from cruising against the first 5 hitters to now, we're going to be a little careful. Jared Triolo, the batter now. And he'll wave and miss at strike 1. This team does strike out a little bit.
That was a really good slider from Dane Dunning. That one had more of a sweeping action to it than a slider.
Runner bluffs from first, and there's a swing and a miss at the slider, and it's 0-2. 20th pitch of the inning.
Like Dane took a little bit off of that one as well. Normally his slider's like 80, 81 miles an hour. That one came in at 77, 78.
He has 1 strikeout. That was in the first inning. A strikeout of O'Neill Cruz. Is 0-2. And Triolo takes strike 3 called. He goes down the same way Cruz did to end the first. So Dunning, 2 scoreless so far, and 2. A bunch of the fellas, get autographs. And it's just a great cause and a great effort. Really good work by Nathaniel.
Yeah, I love seeing that. I love seeing guys understanding their platform and actually how to use it, right, to have an impact on other people. Because when all is said and done, no one's going to remember Nathaniel Lowe's lifetime batting average unless it's maybe his president of his fan club. But the people that he has an impact on, those folks that came here tonight, they'll never forget tonight.
Yeah, you're right. And so many guys do a great job of that. And when they do, we need to take a moment to give them their due, point it out. And so, good job by Nathaniel. Rangers as an organization, I feel it's just such a big part of why this team exists. And there's a little roller down to first. Johnny Tellez underhands it, and they get low, one away. So we'll bring up Josh Young. Well, Young homered yesterday, then he had the game winner. Ends up a great game for Josh. It was his second home run since coming back off the injured list. He smacks that ball pretty well out there to center, but Bay makes the catch. Two gone. Wyatt Langford. Thinking about Langford a little bit lately, Val. The fact that here we are in mid to late August, rookie. A lot was expected this year. He's posted, right? I mean, he keeps showing up day after day, getting it done. And I don't think the year is going to come out exactly as he had hoped or wished, but he's right about league average, maybe a little better in on base. We've seen some of the power, 7 home runs. And now it's about finishing it, right? Getting through the last, let's say, 6 weeks here. High pop-up. This one out into short center. And it will end the inning. We'll get into a little bit more of that when we come back. We'll for your first time.
Well, it's a really difficult thing to do. And I would venture to say that it's more difficult mentally. Physically, you know, he's a young man. Josh Smith is probably going through the same type of thing right now as well, where you're tired, but you can always figure out ways to kind of get ready and get up for a game at 7:05, right? But it's the mind, the spring training. He had to earn a spot. So it wasn't like he just was going down there to get in shape. There was pressure on him to perform, to make this ball club. And then when he got here, it was like, okay, expectations are pretty. high on a nightly basis. Then you throw in the travel. You know, you guys, we all probably got in our beds about 3:30 a.m. on Thursday night, and then had a game that night.
Bay hits this one just past third. And Ji-Hwan Bae is on to begin the third inning.
But it's a long season. You know, you go from the beginning of spring training over. That's a lot of baseball over a long period of time. And baseball is relentless. It's every single night. So, yes, hey, you had a great night yesterday. So what? You got four more ABs tonight. What are you gonna do? What have you done for me lately, Dave?
Yeah, sleep fast, and let's get after it again, because today's starting pitcher is going to have entirely different stuff than what you saw tonight, and the spring training part of it, I think, for Langford too, is not insignificant. That's his first big league spring training. This one hit hard out to left field, but Langford gets back on it and makes the catch. Tanner Falefa retired.
You know, and also as a young player, you're trying to make your mark, right? You're trying to impress your teammates. You want them to feel like you belong here as well themselves than any external pressure, because these guys kind of demand from themselves excellence on a nightly basis. So anything that the outside can put on you is nothing like you do it put on your own personal self. This is what I expect from myself every single night.
1-0 here to Brian Reynolds. And last thing on that, he's playing a full season, and it's a lot. It's new, and it's a lot for a guy to do for the first time. In a similar way, Josh Smith is really getting to play a full season, and he's never really had to do that before. And he's learning that that's a lot physically and mentally. The difference between those two, though, for me, is the newness of everything this year for Langford. Every ballpark, every hotel, every itinerary. It's all so much new information every day. It's a challenge. Where do I go?
Yeah.
Where do I get food in this town? You know, whatever the case.
How do I play the wall at Fenway? You know, how do I play that corner down there? All those little nooks and crannies. It's a lot to take on. But that's why these guys are the best in the world at what they do.
And they have a lot of help, right? They got a lot of coaching and a lot of teammates and stuff willing to help them out. As O'Neill Cruz steps in. Huge shortstop, 6'7". O'Neill Cruz, he went down looking in the first inning. Dunning kind of carved him up in that first. We didn't get much of a chance to discuss this young man. He's just he's a little bit different. Not the type of guy you've I guess been accustomed to watching over the years. Hugely athletic, big strong arm, fast, got power. He's only 25 years old, and he got underneath this one. Pop up back of second base, handled by Seager. The inning is done. Pirates leave a man.
and they're only 2.5 back, Dave. So it's fallen quickly.
Yeah, they were one of those teams that was trying to figure out how hard do we want to push here. Do we think there's enough to make a move, maybe snag a wild card? Well, those dreams have faded a little bit. There's Paul Skeens there with a mustache. 1-1 on Jonah Heim. That guy, well, I would say, Val, I mean, Shohei Ohtani's pretty special stuff. But when Paul Skeens is starting for the Pirates, that's the biggest game of the day in big league baseball, right? That is the event of the day in the league.
Kind of reminds me of Strasburg.
Yeah.
When he first got to the major leagues with the Washington Nationals. It seemed like the eyes of the entire baseball world were on him every 5 days.
You know, that's kind of a fun game to play, right? Strasburg, I can think of Gooden or Valenzuela, Mark Fidrich. Guys are just so compelling when they're on the mound that the rest of the baseball world is tuned in. And it's true. I mean, in clubhouses around the league, they'll have that game on and they'll be watching, because this is one of the truly electric arms in the game. And scouts around the league will tell you, they're pretty reluctant about giving, let's say, an 80 grade to a pitcher for any particular pitch. But a lot of scouts would give, like, his fastball an 80 grade. And lined out over second. And Jonah Heim has a hit. Second into the game for the Rangers.
Well, I'm sure you can hear the crack of the bat on the TV screen. But this ball's hit right on the nose. Comes with him at that two-seamer, that sinker. But he leaves it up, and Jonah makes him pay. Ooh, I love the sound of that.
Well, good for Jonah. He's on now ahead of Taveras. There's strike one from Ortiz. One strike offering, and that's up. Anyway, Skeens, unfortunately, right now is not scheduled to pitch in this series. Wednesday's game is still TBA for the Pirates. There's an outside shot that he might make the start Wednesday. This one popped up foul. Went out of play left side.
Well, now I understand that you would like to see him pitch, but I'm sure the Rangers wouldn't mind if he got pushed back to Thursday or Friday once they left town.
It's funny, I started to ask Boch that question today during batting practice. You know, from the competitive baseball fantasy, I saw him in the All-Star game.
I've seen enough.
Yeah, good point. One nothing Rangers lead. And Ortiz took a little time. Taveras fights him off though, and it stays 1-2.
Leote's been on a nice little run. Over the last 9 games, he's hitting .314. He had that home run back in Boston.
The 1-2 pitch, and that's fouled back out of play. Leote had a hit yesterday. Sitting on 35 career home runs as a center fielder, which is, we've showed you this year, that's 5th most all time in Rangers history for a center fielder. The 1-2 pitch, and he strikes out swinging. Thought maybe he might have gotten a piece of that one, but that's a strikeout. 1 away. So speaking of the All-Star game, Skeens had to start this big, strong kid. Yep, and he took care of business. It didn't look easy in that first inning.
A lot of movement on that fastball. And it throws a little 3/4. Has a lot of run on it into the right-hander. Doesn't look like a very comfortable at bat, quite frankly.
He's a character too, this guy. Innocence. David Tay, as this one is Out into left field. That's a base hit. Heim chugging for third base, and he gets in there. And with the throw going to third, it allows Semien to move up a base. And he gets to second.
Yeah, Brian Reynolds probably picking the wrong base to throw, going from first to third. Makes it pretty easily right there. But Marcus Semien very alertly moves from first to second on the throw to third. Rangers now have 2 runners in scoring position.
Great spot for Corey Seager, and another rocket deep out to right. It is back. It is gone. Now that was a towering home run. 28th of the year, and the Rangers lead 4-0.
And Corey wasted no time jumping on that first offering.
Now that was a towering home run. 28th of the year, and the Rangers lead 4-0.
And Corey wasted no time jumping on that first offering. This is just a moonshot, little hanging slider right in the loop zone of Corey Seager. It looks like Seager caught it out there in right center field.
He's Bugs Bunny. High fly ball, left center field. Reynolds coming over from left makes the catch.
Here's another look at that beautiful swing of Corey Seager. Gets full extension to that ball. What a feeling for that fan who was wearing the Corey Seager jersey, catching a Corey Seager homer.
It's a great night right there.
Yeah, can it get any better?
Well, Garcia takes low.
I meant for the fan, of course. Can it get any better?
Yeah, I got you. 1-1 on Adolis, who struck out in the first inning. Well, 4-0 Rangers lead. And that's fouled off to the right side. It's been a while since the Rangers have had a, first of all, early offense has been a little hard to come by, but a lead, multi-run lead, 4 runs in the third inning. That might take a little research to figure out when the last time that was. Boach told me today that he told the guys on the bench, he's like, if we get a 10-run lead in the early innings, somebody bring me a martini. I will drink it on the bench with a 10-run lead. Last year, that could have happened, right? I mean, that happened last year.
I thought he was a whiskey guy.
Listen, they will bring him a dirty martini.
Well, they're almost halfway there.
Yeah. Three-2. In the air left. Reynolds coming in. I was about to say, bartender. Joey Bart fouls up. Fouls off the first pitch he sees here in the fourth inning. It'll be Bart, Tellez, and Grandal. Well, the Rangers up 4-0. Dunning finds inside corner. It's quickly 0-2. Dunning with a couple of strikeouts today. Cruz looking in the first. Triolo looking in the second. And I mentioned earlier that this team strikes out a lot. There's only one team in the National League that strikes out more, and that would be the Rockies. Down. Bart able to hustle down the line and beat that one out. And the Pirates have the lead man on. That's a hit.
Yeah, Josh just couldn't get enough on the throw. You'll see as it hits the infield grass, as he one-hops it kind of takes a little energy off of it. And Bart's able to beat it out. Great effort, though, by...
So now, Rowdy Tellez. Go after the first pitch, pop it up. Playable. And Heim tucks it away for the first out of the inning. We have a moment now for Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. So 1 out. Grandal, the hitter. And he takes right on the outside corner. Grandal from Cuba, La Habana, Cuba. And he launches one away. 1-1 the count. I mentioned earlier, he's been around a little while. This now is 13th year in the big leagues. Came up with the Padres. He's also played with the Dodgers, Brewers, White Sox in recent years, and now back to the National League with Pittsburgh. Bart, the runner at first. And that one is hard. 2-2. I mentioned it earlier about near the trade deadline, these guys were ostensibly in the conversation. Had a shot at a wild card. They have since slipped back. And kind of back where the Pirates oftentimes are, right? Well under 500. Struggling for relevance. There's a swing and a miss. Grandal strikes out. Third strikeout now for Dunning.
Good pitch right here. This slider looks like he takes a little bit extra off and gets Grandal out on his front foot. Keeps him off balance. We're seeing him throw that slider a little bit slower than he has in the past. I like it. I like the change of speed with that pitch.
Pitch to McKinney now. Well, looking curveball, but misses for ball one. Pirates last year made a big jump in the standings in the National League. They improved their record by 14 wins last year. Get to 76 victories. I'm kind of hoping that maybe this would be a year where they could take another step forward, get to the 500 mark, maybe a little past it. And I think when you do that anymore with the expanded playoff fields, then you're kind of in the mix for a postseason spot. The 2-0 line just over second base, and McKinney is on. He has 2 hits tonight.
almost looks like Corey Seager's got a chance. We'll get another look at it. Corey playing right back behind second base. Just didn't get enough air time. Timed it perfectly, but had to dunk that one with two hands.
A little visit with Jonah out there to talk to Dunning. Dunning at only 55 pitches. And Jared Triolo will be the batter. Anyway, the Pirates are not going to get there this year. It certainly doesn't appear anyway that they would. Their manager, Derek Shelton, in his 5th year. But at times, I think, you know, it could be said that maybe he's been conservative with the way he manages games. And I think that's partly based on the personnel he has. Sometimes you'll see that as a criticism. A swing and a miss by Triolo. But you got to play to what you have. Triolo, a second-round pick in 2019. He's 26 years old. Struck out looking earlier. And he takes low, 1-1.
Yeah, I think it was Sparky Anderson who said when he's got great players, he's a really good manager.
Right?
And when he doesn't have the lineup quite like the Big Red Machine, Sparky's not a very good manager.
1-1. That ball hit well out to left field. That's trouble. And that is gone. A 3-run homer for Triolo, his 6th home run of the year. Dunning upset with himself. He's just let the Pirates back in it. It's 4-3.
A little hanging slider on the inner part of the plate. Just kind of elevated in the loop zone of Triolo. He puts the Pirates right back in this ballgame with that 3-run homer.
Base is empty now with 2 outs. Ji-Hwan Bae takes low. Ball 1. Dunning. It's a foul ball here. Even things at 1-1. Dunning just back into the rotation recently for the Rangers. Started the year in the rotation. That's outside. 2-1. And then Dunning, after 12 starts, has moved into the bullpen. He has a little more success as a starter. 2-2 now to Bae. And the start recently against Boston, that was his first start since June 16th. Today had been humming along here until this 4th inning, and now some bodies beginning to move around in the bullpen. That's up. Whoa! Pardon me. That's right in there for strike 3 call. That's on me.
Some cool jerseys,
Yeah.
different look to them. And you get to see the Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees right now.
Well, they have some guy named Aaron or something. Not Hank Aaron, but
Not Hank Aaron, no. Aaron Judge. Yankees tied for the American League East lead with Baltimore going into play tonight.
Aaron Judge putting up another historic season.
Type season again. He's still shot at a triple crown. Here's a 3-0. And that fastball in there for strike one to Nathaniel Lowe. Bottom of the fourth inning, a 4-3 game. And the pitch from Ortiz. Foul, but hard. That vomitorium. He's going looking for it. I've only gotten one foul ball a game in my life as a kid. I was dressing a hot dog in the concourse.
You were addressing a hot dog?
There's a strikeout of Lowe. 1-1. I was dressing my hot dog.
In what?
In the concourse. I was putting,
Putting your stuff okay.
and then the ball
We
came.
didn't talk like that when I was growing up about dressing a hot dog. Like,
It's an efficient use of the language, so I could tell the story quickly.
well, I'd like to. I'd like to ask the fans. Go to DaveRaymond.com and let him know what you think about dressing a hot dog.
Yep, hustle on over there. Again, that's DaveRaymond.com. One strike pitch. That's fouled away by Young. The whole point of using the word, Val, was that I could, again, complete the story with a certain efficiency. Now the story is undone. There's nothing efficient about anything this inning. And people are looking for a website that doesn't exist. Young strikes out swinging 2 away. What have you wrought this inning? A menace. Here's Wyatt Langford. Langford popped out in the second.
So getting back to condiment.
No. I think the moment has passed. Oh, man. Here's a one-strike pitch. And that is on the corner. Oh, all of a sudden, Ortiz just peppering the zone here. Right after guys. Has 5 strikeouts tonight. He was wide with that one. 98 with that fastball. So he's getting it back up there a little bit. A couple of years ago, he was sowing triple digits with a fastball. And that kind of had people intrigued. 1-2. Well, these strikes. You could take your hot dog and you could dress it. Yes. Maybe a little.
Time now for your accurate pitch arsenal for Mr. Jose Urena. He throws that sinker 40% of the time, a slider, a changeup, and a four-seam fastball. He's taking over for Dane Dunning.
Comes with a fastball at 96 to get it going here tonight. So got a little zip on it right out of the gate. Got the top of the order here. Kiner Falefa, Brian Reynolds, and O'Neill Cruz. Kiner Falefa is flying out to center and to left field. He's had two actually pretty good passes at the ball. He'll take strike two. Hitting .290 this year with 8 home runs and 28 RBIs. Mostly playing second base for the Pirates. 1-2 pitch. And that's fouled away. And fans remember Isaiah came up with the Rangers as a catcher, as he made a very quick transition from middle infield to catcher. The Rangers were in need. And that was a tough way to begin your big league career. He would then turn into a really good shortstop.
Did he win a Gold Glove?
Outfield.
Did he win a Gold Glove?
IKF, not with the Rangers. There's a swing and a miss. And he goes down on strikes here in the 5th inning.
I was kind of thinking or remembering third base. They played third base, maybe won a Gold Glove there.
That is, you know what? That is, that's right. It was third base where he.
It's pretty amazing.
Where he really
catcher
emerged,
to third base to shortstop.
And 2020, that season where they kind of tweaked the criteria for the Gold Glove, right? That was the year where they just did it strictly based off the metrics. 1-0 to Reynolds is outside.
Last 3 appearances have been as a starter. Did not go well. An ERA over 10 for those 3 starts.
Bouncer back off his glove on the mound there. And a good recovery behind him, but Seager couldn't get it to first in time. Urena slowed it down just enough.
If Urena doesn't get his glove on this, it's probably an easy out. And Reynolds just barely beats it out over at first base. Corey making a great effort right here.
I didn't think he even had a play initially, right? Once it slowed down that much, I didn't think there would be anything really resembling a play. So that's a pretty good effort. Initially, right? Once it slowed down that much, I didn't think there would be anything really resembling a play. So that's a pretty good effort. Swing did hold up. Adrian Johnson, our third base umpire, also our crew chief down there making the call.
Now for Cruz, take a look at his line of sight. Corey Seager is right coming out of the release point as a left-handed batter. That would be very uncomfortable for me.
Problem isn't precisely what Cruz would be seeing, right? The batter's eye extends up above the outfield wall for a reason, I think. I don't know. You could answer this
It's
better.
more for a catcher, that angle. Like the lower you get, your trajectory goes up. But for a hitter, you're looking at that release point, and Urena is coming at like maybe 3/4. But you got that big, like a green, solid backdrop.
That's the type of thing that can almost be a competitive advantage right there if you wanted to play it that way.
Absolutely.
3-1.
I know when I caught guys in the bullpen, I hated when the pitching coach would stand right behind me. He's throwing 95, 96. It's hard enough to catch it without it coming out of your uniform.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is Corey's not just standing still out there, too. There's something moving visibly. Not a lot of movement, but you still see that motion.
It's to second. A couple of men on here, and Urania will be in need of a ground ball. It's up Joey Bart. Well, Bart has provided 2 ground balls so far. He grounded out to start the second inning. In the 4th inning, he hit the ball on the ground, but reached on an infield hit. Yeah. So the force out at second erases Cruz. Reynolds has to stop at third base. Bart on via the fielder's choice.
Nice play right here by Corey Seager, having to come in. He realizes he's got to get rid of it very quickly, and he does just that. Little underhanded scoop right to Marcus Semien to nail Cruz at second base. He's had a number of those slow rollers where he's had a charge here tonight.
So the force out at second erases Cruz. Reynolds has to stop at third base. Bart on via the fielder's choice.
Nice play right here by Corey Seager, having to come in. He realizes he's got to get rid of it very quickly, and he does just that. Little underhanded scoop right to Marcus Semien to nail Cruz at second base. He's had a number of those slow rollers where he's had a charge here tonight.
So Ronnie Tellez now, and he takes a strike. 97 there from the Rangers. Rangers started Dunning. He went 4. Urania can give them multiple innings in relief now. It's a 1-run game. Corner's been open for big. Jared Triolo in the 4th inning has the Pirates back in it. Jonah Heim starting off this inning takes inside ball 1. Heim singled in the 3rd, eventually scored on the Seager home run. 1 of Seager's home runs. Well, this one is wafted high in the air out to short center. Coming in for it, Bay. He'll make the bats. See what they're talking about at Jack in the Box.
I invited Deadpool and Wolverine over to whip up some mini Jimmy Bang Bags. That
now we know. Here is Tavares. Struck out in the third inning, and he'll watch one low. So the Rangers have 4 hits, in fact have 4 base runners tonight. And all 4 of the Rangers who have reached base have scored. Half of their 4 hits have been home runs, both by Corey Seager. It's downstairs 2-1. It seems like a lot of runs early in a game, and it is in a lot of ways for the Rangers. And you almost want to fool yourself into saying, like, wow, the lineup's clicking tonight. May not be a great read on the situation. Corey Seager's clicking tonight.
But as you mentioned, it's been a while since the Rangers were able to jump out to an early lead early in the ballgame. It seemed like that 6th inning was kind of their sweet spot, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think they were in a pattern there of just going 5 scoreless every night and then trying to figure out the game from the 6th inning on.
Which is a tough way to win consistently.
Oh, man.
It's almost impossible to do it that way.
Tavares right at time here, 3-2. So we're informed that the last time the Rangers were up 4-0 early in the game like they were tonight was July 2nd. Bouncer first base, that stays fair. And Tellez will go to the bag himself. 2 gone.
July 2nd, huh?
Yeah, you
6 weeks ago almost.
Yeah, you throw these dates around, right? Oh, yeah, July 2nd. Sounds like in the middle of the summer somewhere. Yeah. Like, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks before the All-Star game, the last time they had an early
4-run lead.
4-0 lead. Yikes. Here's Marcus. This one's right through a slider. Simeon has a hit. He also struck out, and he fouls that one. TXU power stats. 8-game hitting streak with that single in the 3rd inning now. Home run, 3 doubles. A couple of multi-hit games, so Marcus usually pretty consistent. It's been a good homestand for him. Two-strike pitch from Ortiz, and it's pulled foul. Ortiz at 73 pitches so far. Oh, and that ball's hit well down the left field line toward that corner. That one's off the fence, then kicked back up to the fence. Reynolds, a great sliding effort, but couldn't get it. And maybe, in some ways, maybe fortunate he did kick it back up against that fence.
Yeah, I think he catches a big break here. This ball is a little hanging slider on the middle part of the plate. That's the sweet spot for Marcus Simeon. But look how that ball hits off the wall, bounces, and then hits Reynolds and keeps it right there. If that ball gets by him, certainly Marcus Simeon would have been standing on third base with a triple.
Well, the problem with an extra base hit there for Marcus is it left first base open. And that time, or this time, they elect just to walk Seager. He's down at first now for Josh Smith. Smith takes strike 1. Shelton, the Pirates manager, that's a no-brainer right there. It's Bay who takes it, and the
from the relievers. 124 and a third, only by the Detroit Tigers with 143. So they've been going down there, going to the well quite a few times, Dave.
Which can, of course, be stressful for a team. Now, sometimes, you know, if you're using a lot of guys like Urena in long relief for 4 innings, or you saw yesterday
as a starter, right?
On Garabito, you know, those count as innings certainly, but it's not quite the same as when you're using your high leverage guys night in, night out, over and over again.
But I think a big reason has been some of the injuries to the starting staff, and then you're using guys like Urena earlier than you'd like to.
That's interesting. Looks like Dunning talking some things over. Andrew Heaney. And Dahl stays alive. Right back at him again. Another foul ball. A good crowd tonight. They'd seem a little more engaged than we've seen in recent days. This one lifted out to center field as he played for Leote out there. And that's out number 1.
Well, it is something when you can get on the board. It's a couple of home runs off the bat of Corey Seager. Got him going there in that very first inning.
Rangers have, you know, obviously this series with the Pirates, and they head off to the road. After that, there are 2 homestands remaining. Urena is off the plate there with ball 1. That's kind of hard to believe. A 3-team homestand at the end of August, beginning of September. And then a 2-team homestand to wrap up the home schedule in September. 2-0. Some of those home dates are running out. Hard to believe. Little tapper right back toward the mound. Urena down quickly to grab it. Throws to first. They get McKinney. First time they've been able to retire him tonight. I'll bring up Triolo now, who hit the big 3-run homer in the 4th inning. Val, it seems like just yesterday the Rangers were hoisting that banner out down the right field line to celebrate last year's World Series title. And we were all wondering what might the defense of the World Series look like. Apparently that was not to be this year, the 1-0. It's down in the middle. Rangers 11 games back of Houston coming into play today. Urena's 1-1, and that's fouled off of Triolo himself. He seems okay.
Really fast. Can't believe it's summer's coming to a close. Kids started school today.
Yeah. And maybe it was all the celebrating and reminiscing about last year. 1-2. It's low. Or it's just the fact that every game's been so stressful from jump, really, after we got, I don't know, 6 weeks into the season. And you can just feel the games and the opportunities slipping away. Kind of holding on, hoping there'd be a little more opportunity. That's outside, and Triolo draws games and the opportunities slipping away. Kind of holding on, hoping there'd be a little more opportunity. That's outside, and Triolo draws a 2-out walk. Mathematically, there still is a window of opportunity for the Rangers. Ridiculous number of wins, right? Like hit one of those 20-game winning streaks like Oakland did many years ago, or Colorado Rockies did, you'd still need help, right? You still need somebody to beat the teams ahead of you. This one in the air, left field. Coming in for it, Langford, and that completes.
For winning the World Series.
Big part of it. He was the first
I
big
see
addition the team made.
He was, and I could see him wearing it with one of his outfits.
For sure.
Right? He's not afraid to go with the bling. Kind of like you.
Yeah, similar in a lot of ways. When he showed up, he was immediately the best dressed dude on the plane, that's for sure. 1-1 is outside. 2-1 to Garcia. Dolly's 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out looking that first time up, and he takes outside here. So, favorable hitters count. There's Dennis Santana getting loose in the bullpen for Pittsburgh. He's right at 80 pitches. And that is in the air, center field. Base started back, now races in. And he makes the catch. Comes Nathaniel Lowe. Marchese's allowed those 2 home runs tonight. And last year he was interesting in that his fastball was one of the worst pitches on the entire Pittsburgh staff, and maybe in baseball. He throws it hard, or certainly last year threw it hard, harder than he has this year. But it got absolutely crushed. He surrendered a slug of over 700 on his fastball last season. This year it's been a whole lot better, more like about a 350 slug on it. And you see the numbers on the fastball. The batting average against 192 this year. For young starters, that's been among the best. 2-1. Right.
Well, one of the things I think happened to him is that he gave up velocity for location. Right? Location. Heard it many, many times. And I think he's got a little bit more movement with it as well. He drops down a little bit, and it's got that two-seamer ride away from a lefty and into a righty.
Added a cutter this year as well. The 2-2 pitch. And that's high. So the four-seamer used to have a little more run, a little more horizontal break to it. And we worked this offseason on, again, hand position, all the little details they'll go into to get that spin just a little bit more back to front, keep that rise up a little bit, or
a little more carry.
Yep, fight off that the gravitational pull a little bit, and forget about the movement side to side. And it's definitely improved it a lot. 3-2. That's lifted out to left field. Reynolds is back in the corner near the wall, and he makes the catch right up there by that yellow stripe. And Lowe just missed.
Boy, for a minute there, I thought his ball was going to carry over the wall as he got into that corner. He catches it right against the wall, right at the yellow line.
Missed it. Missed it by that much. Josh is flied out to. Missed it by that much. Josh is flied out to center field. Struck out swinging. And it's in. One so far tonight for the Pirates. Here it comes. 2-1. Took a pretty close pitch right there. Died and slices away into the stands, and it gives us a moment. Under the hood. So, Josh, if you were not playing baseball, said that he would be a high school football coach. Much like his dad, Jeff, who was a very successful football coach here in the state of Texas.
They do love their football down here, don't they?
Pretty big deal. 2-2, and that is strike three called. And Young goes down looking. It's a 1-2-3-6. Ortiz may be done. He's done .com. Pirates got all 3 runs of theirs tonight in the 4th inning. Urania, this will be his 3rd inning in relief. And it's kind of Falepa to offer there. 1-2. Urania struck out by KF in the 5th inning. Low. Bouncer second base. Semien takes care of it. 1 away here in the 7th inning. Reynolds, initially a high draft pick by the San Francisco Giants in 2016. In fact, a 2nd round pick. And he's only 29 years old. The Pirates acquired him in a deal 2 years after being drafted. And they have since locked him up on an 8-year deal. Signed through 2031 with the Pirates. And that's always good young talent. Can they find a way to keep him? And so they signed him to an 8-year deal, offering him a lot of lifetime security, but getting him at basically under market value for a great chunk of that contract.
That's kind of always a dilemma, right, for hitters as you take a look at Urania. Throwing that little cutter on the outside part. Reynolds.
Can they find a way to keep him? And so they signed him to an 8-year deal, offering him a lot of lifetime security, but getting him at basically under market value for a great chunk of that contract.
That's kind of always a dilemma, right, for hitters as you take a look at Urania. Throwing that little cutter on the outside part. Reynolds catches a little bit of it, but Jonah holds on for strike 3. But as a young player, you're offered long-time security, lifetime security nowadays. Do you take it, or do you bet on yourself, knowing that there's a chance for injury and that opportunity might literally go away?
All right, well, let me just ask you.
Case in point would be somebody like Juan Soto, right? He was offered something over 400 or something, and he said no.
It's really difficult.
Bet on himself. I mean,
right?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing, right? In that kind of a situation, the downside, right? Down from 400 million. We do know that a person can fall quite a bit from there. What's the upside? Past 400. How far can you take it?
Well, we saw Ohtani. Ohtani went.
Steve Buechele, man. One of the great ones. Fan favorite. Everybody loves Boo. Bottom of the 7th inning here. Bottom of the order as well. Langford swings through strike 1. Wyatt 0 for 2. He has popped out and struck out tonight. He can be a little bit of a chatterbox sometimes at the plate. And I'm not talking like idle chatter either. He can get a little sideways sometimes with maybe a catcher or maybe a pitcher. And you'll see him sometimes mouthing something to one of them. I like that about him. He's so feisty. And he swings and misses here. Langford strikes out to start the 7th. 1 away.
I have not seen that from him. I'll be watching.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. You'll catch it. Now Dennis Santana, the former Ranger, on in the 7th inning as the Pirates go to their bullpen. He'll miss up and out to Jonah Heim for ball 1. Pulled foul. 1-1. So Santana, he's 28 years old now. But he was with the Rangers 2021 and 22. Back to 22, he made 63 appearances. Swing and a miss. He jumps ahead of Jonah Heim. Ball and 2 strikes. Since then, he's been with the Mets. Now the Pirates. Rangers got him initially from the Dodgers. Rangers traded Kevin Bautista to the Dodgers to get him in June of 2021. Here's the pitch on the way to Jonah. Swings and misses at the fastball. Another strikeout.
Well, Santana always had a good fastball. Is that 4-seamer? He throws that 96 miles an hour, and he throws it right past Jonah across the top of the zone. Jonah caught a little piece of that.
As a catcher, those little foul tips like that, how challenging are those?
You know, if you have, I've always felt that the glove catches it. If you got a good glove that kind of wraps around the ball and kind of just swallows the ball up, and it hits in there and it'll stick. But if you're rough with your hands, then you'll start to rattle that ball around. But we saw Rondell right there, little tip. The glove catches it. Just put the glove in front of the ball.
So his glove looks pretty well broken in.
Looks like he's got a really nice little deep pocket right there. I mean, it's not like you hear a tick and then you move the glove.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just all happening a billion miles an hour as that ball's coming in, and then the ball gets a little bit diverted because of the foul tip, but it's pretty much luck. It's not like, oh, he's a really good foul tipper catcher.
That'd be a heck of a line on the resume, though. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss. So, second inning. Go to the 8th. Pittsburgh.
Urania's been outstanding. So far, he's pitched 3 innings here tonight. He's given up only 1 hit. And no runs.
Up 3 strikeouts on the way. There's a ground ball. That's up the middle. Base hit. So Bart with a single to begin the top of the 8th inning. Gives us a moment now for Rally House.
Play ball, Texas. Shop the latest in Ranger style with your favorite brands and throwback designs.
Okay, a little visit now as we see Leclerc warming up at the bullpen. Mike Maddox out there. Put a hand on Urania and maybe focus the efforts here. Urania's good at getting ground balls, and Tellez maybe a candidate here to get that double play and make things a little easier in this 8th inning. But leadoff single is one thing. Is there a particular reason for a visit there that a pitcher coach would take? Is it just a particular reason for a visit there that a pitcher coach would take? Is it just to buy time for the bullpen usually?
I think part of it is the bullpen, right? We saw Leclerc getting up down right center field. But also just to go over the report one more time. Tellez has been swinging the bat well. Him down and away.
It's in the air. Left field. Slicing away foul. Langford is over, but he comes out of room. Strike 1 on Tellez. Now, Tellez has hit into 11 double plays this year. That's a good candidate. Urania runs that one a little bit in. 1-1. A 1-run game. Now these, I feel like we had a number of these recently with Minnesota. And the Twins just kept finding ways to come back in the late innings. And they're a tremendous late inning team. To either force, that's the first out of the inning.
And that's the perfect location right there for Urania. Just power down and away. There's not a whole lot you can do with that pitch.
So with 1 away, here is Yasmani Grandal. The first pitch to him is off the plate. Ball 1. Pirates 58 wins, 65 losses. Very similar records for these two teams. The Pirates are 13.5 out in the National League Central. Milwaukee leading the Central Division. The largest divisional lead out in the National League Central. Milwaukee leading the Central Division. The largest divisional lead in baseball. 11 games over their next closest competitor, the St. Louis Cardinals. This one's in the air, foul over to the left side, out of play. It was interesting today. You wake up and you look at the standings. You had the Dodgers at 73 wins. American League, Baltimore at 73 wins. Same with the Yankees. Cleveland 72 wins. Outside 2-2. I mean, it is
Thick.
It is.
He's running away with anything.
Really hard to differentiate, and some of the teams have been so streaky. Teams like Philadelphia. That's low. Full count on Grandal. Stabilized some, but even still, not played their best baseball since the break. Meanwhile, Atlanta Atlanta trailing them, and the East been so injured they just can't climb back in it. This one in the air to left, and Langford finds his way to it. 2 away. The Rangers have the good fortune of playing in Houston. Got off to a horrid start, but turned it around, and now they to win games when you can't score runs, but they pitch better than anybody in baseball. It's been a kind of underachieving division, it seems, overall. Even with that as the back. McKinney had 1-0. A couple of hits, a run scored tonight for him, and a bouncer back to the mound. Urania fields that position well, and he shows off his speed. Takes care of McKinney. It's another. Rangers have Semien, Seager, and Smith coming. Santana out for second inning. And his 1-0 pitch, that's in the air. Short center field.
Fast play, Corey Seager. Boy, did he get off to a great night here. The very first inning, the very first at-bat. He jumps all over this pitch. Almost hits it into the second deck, and then in the third inning. He launches a moonshot, 3-run home run to put the Texas Rangers up 4-0. What a way to start the night.
Special night going for him. He will see a new pitch.
6-4 record. A whip of 135, and opponents are hitting 256 off of the left-hander.
So left on left. Beeks fires it up and out. Ball one. Plenty of teams have tried this before with Beeks against Seager. That's tight. 2-0. Seager has faced him 5 times. He's 3 for 5 with a home run against him. That one is in there. 2-1. So a left on left, yeah, a lot of times conventionally you'd say, well, that's at least a little advantage you can get on the pitching side. That's lined out to center. Takes Bay back a few steps, and he makes the catch. 2 gone. Tough to get much of a left-on-left advantage against Corey Seager.
Well, I think some of those things are more for average hitters, but the good left-handed hitters typically, and I'm thinking back, guys that I played with, Will Clark, Ken Griffey Jr., they liked when lefties came in. I mean, it was almost something where they kind of lock in. They start sitting on certain pitches, even more so than on right-handers. As we've seen Corey Seager just mash some lefties since he has been here with the Texas Rangers.
You know who else has done really well against left-handed pitching this year has been Josh Smith.
Another high-quality hitter.
And it's one of those things where we've seen teams do it a lot this year. And, well, the left-handed batter, let's try and slow him down with a lefty. Well, his numbers are better against lefties than they are against righties. 1 and 2. Even still, I think a lot of managers would say, yeah, well, we'll assume that it's been what we call a short sample size this year, right? A lifetime of numbers or a lifetime of lefties against him would ultimately prevail. 1 and 2. Or at the very least, they just feel like it gives them a better chance. Josh has handled it really well. Well, applause for the ball girls. He was way down the line. In fact, all the way to the outfield wall. Took at that loose baseball and then made a fan happy and now has to sprint back. Good job. Here's a 1-2. Beeks was acquired from the Colorado Rockies right near the trade deadline. Oh my, and he gets a high strike call on Smith. Josh doesn't like it much. And that's the end of the 8th inning. Fans don't like it either. It does take us to the 9th. Rangers up by
4-0 lead. Pittsburgh matched it in the third with 3 runs to make this a close game, but Kirby Yates stepping on the mound after blowing a save yesterday. Kirby looking to right the ship with a 4-2 record and a 1.36 ERA, 66 strikeouts against 22 walks, and the opponent's hitting a measly 130 off of Kirby.
Right, well, he gets Jared Triolo to start things here in the 9th inning. He's trying to get that 58th win of the year. There's strike 1 to Triolo. 4 innings from Dunning, 4 innings from Urania. Pretty nice job by both today. Triolo in a hole 0-2.
Kirby coming right after him with that good fastball at the top of the zone. He threw 17 pitches in yesterday's outing.
Yeah, no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's high in the air out to right center field. Not going to go, though, and Albombi makes the catch. 1 away. Well, it's been a while since the Rangers have won back-to-back contests. And, you know, remember they had that 5-game win streak, and since then, that was right out of the break. They won the final game against, I want to say, Baltimore, and then swept the White Sox. Well, since then, really tough sledding, though, as that one is low for a ball. So their last consecutive. There's a strike, 1-1. But a chance to do that tonight with the win yesterday against Minnesota. Trying to take the opener here from Pittsburgh. He watches that one outside. What a year it has been. For Kirby. He watches that one outside. What a year it has been for Kirby Yates. That's a strike, 2-2. Even with the hiccup yesterday, his first blown save, as you mentioned, Rangers found a way to win that game. With 21 straight. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out Bay. 2 down.
Yeah, this at-bat, he goes all around the strike zone. A strike on the outside corner, 1 down and in, and this one right across the top to gets Bay for strike 3.
So, Kiner Falefa, the former Ranger, takes strike 1. He's the last hope for the Pirates. Since the Washington Senators moved here in 1972 to become the Texas Rangers, only 1 pitcher has started a season with more consecutive than 23 for 23 to start that season in 2018. He then blew a save. Was traded after the All-Star game, the 1-1. A swing and a miss, strike 2.
There's that good splitter from Kirby after getting it. And with the fastball, he's thrown 2 consecutive split fingers to Kiner Falefa. This is the foul.
1-2. What a good group tonight. 28,229. For the moment. Tanner Falefa 0 for 4 tonight. The 1-2. He stays alive.
Boy,
Tanner Falefa 0 for 4 tonight. The 1-2. He stays alive.
Boy, he gets kind of Falefa to swing at a pitch about a foot inside right there. Little ball fouls off of his right thigh.
So Yates ready again. Here it comes. And then that'll be a 7-pitch at bat at minimum for Tanner Falefa and Yates. Rangers jumped out 4-0. Pirates got back in it in the 4th inning on a 3-run homer by Triolo. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. Yates finishes it off with a swinging strikeout, and the
Him as he comes right back on consecutive days and gets a 1-2-3 9th inning to secure the win for the Rangers. There's that good split finger right here. You see that ball just tumbling as he misses the bat of kind of Falefa for strike 3.
All right, well, that's perfect. Couple of bombs from Sig.